We already had problems of me saying no to intimacy, now it's mustard. I'm quite an adventurous eater and there are very few foods I won't eat. One of them is mustard, the condiment. I've tried all variations and I just don't like them. My husband for some reason never understood this. He loves mustard, especially honey mustard. He puts it on all his sandwiches, dips his fries in it, and every time he tries to force me to try it, he'll insist I'll like it this time. I'm a grown ash woman. I know what I don't like, and I don't like mustard. So I'll say no and it will devolve into a mini argument where he'll call me picky. Well, last night we were on the road home from a weekend trip we took together and he stopped at a gas station to get us a quick bite. He got a hot dog slathered in mustard. While we waited in line he asked what I got on mine. I told him nothing. He actually got furious and grabbed it from me. He marched over to the condiment station and began putting mustard on my hot dog, telling me to grow up and stop being picky. I just walked out and sat in the car. I didn't even want the damn hot dog anymore. My appetite was gone. He came back and began screaming at me for embarrassing him even further. The word divorce was said for the first time ever. I secretly recorded his screaming because I was genuinely afraid I would die. He was driving erratically, swerving and speeding. I'm in a hotel tonight. He ignored me all day at work and then the calls started around when he realized I wasn't coming home. Non-stop voicemails and texts. He sent me a screenshot of a Google search for local divorce lawyers. I haven't eaten all day and I've been sobbing in this damn hotel room. I don't want to get divorced and I wish I had just ate the effing mustard. Am I in danger? Why would he react this way to a preference of mine? I'm completely broken right now. Things blew up last night. Said no to having intimacy that he would ask for blow over and over. I used to give in at first until I some answers I guess to questions I saw, one regarding when I said no to intimacy. He respected if I started dreading doing it. He tried buying all this stuff to make me like it, to make it easier or whatever. I used to like blow. I don't like giving them to him. But he'll still ask over and over. I started responding with, I said no. Are you going to force me to do it? And he'd get squeamish and offended that I'd implied he would rope or essay me. 2. If I have a support system. No. I've always been a very small circle kind of person and I lost touch with casual college friends. My friends are his. It makes me feel like a loser but I don't really have friends of my own. My dad died when I was a teen and my mom passed recently of heart failure. I have no siblings. 3. I'm financially capable of living on my own and I could pay for a divorce. I just really didn't want things to be this way. The mustard thing was always just an annoyance to me. I didn't consider it a deal breaker, but obviously it is for him. We have no kids and no equity. Our finances are separate save for one joint account we equally contribute to for bills. We were looking at buying a house. Here's what happened since last night. I'm safe. I'm at work and I'm staying in the hotel until further notice. He has continued to text. One message said that he loves me and doesn't want to lose me, but I forced his hand by refusing to communicate or come home. I haven't answered. I don't know what to say. I forced myself to eat my favorite takeout late last night but it tasted like cardboard. I stayed up late compiling a list of every time he has shown worrying behavior. I guess the mustard is the tip of the iceberg. I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life.
Back in March I, 33M, found out my wife, 30F, was having an affair after 15 years of being together. Completely broke my heart. I wanted a divorce originally, but opted to see if we could work on things. Our version of work on things is always to move past things and pretend they never happened. Obviously not healthy, and I wish looking back we did something differently, couples therapy, communicate better, etc. From March to August. Things were okay. We pretended like it never happened, and since we never truly dealt with it, you could tell things were off, even though we continued to put a smile on our faces. In August she admitted that she still had feelings for this other guy. August to December, we continued to live together but we were growing apart. She was texting the other guy, though claiming that she was not. She wanted a divorce. I was not ready to want that though deep down I knew that there was no way our relationship could ever return to normal. I was holding out for how things were in the past. She was prepared to begin moving on with her life, but also was trying to be there for me as I grieved, which in hindsight probably gave me some false hope. I had finally come to grips with things over the past 2 weeks. A lot of therapy and talking to friends got me to a point where, though I didn't want to lose my best friend, I understood it had to be over for everyone's sake. My wife was planning on moving forward with the guy she had the affair with. He lived out of state, but he eventually intended to move here so that they could be together. After escaping denial that my wife was in the affair, I knew it would be a tough transition for me, but I was slowly ready to do it. I began working on bettering myself for my future, job promotion, therapy, lost 25 pounds quitting alcohol and getting a gym membership etc. The other day, I found out he unexpectedly passed away. I had always hoped that they would not remain together, out of pure selfish spite, but now seeing how broken my soon-to-be ex-wife is, I am completely devastated for her. I'm devastated that my marriage is over, but also devastated that her whole life is forever changed. I'm devastated that a person lost their life at a young age, regardless that he had a hand in my marriage ending. No one deserves that to happen. And as much as I wanted to hate this guy, he did seem like a good person otherwise, as crazy as that sounds. I can't even come to grips that this has happened to me, to her, to this guy. It feels like no one is winning or coming out better in the end here. It seems like nothing but sadness for everyone involved. I've tried talking to friends and my therapist, but I can't make sense of any of this anymore. People have told me I should cut off my ex and let her grieve, but she's been my closest friend for a decade and a half, regardless of our marriage ending. I can't imagine not being there for her. I was finally getting to a place where I could see some sort of light at the end of the tunnel of my marriage being over, but now I just see a long road of everyone grieving for so many reasons, and everyone being changed forever, probably in a negative way, because of this.
We've been married for 5 years and together for 7 years. We also have a 3-year-old kid. After having the baby, I struggled a lot with losing the baby weight and adjusting to being a parent. But then my husband started making these little comments about my body and how I should start working out and wearing makeup again. It made me feel really awful, and I worried that he might start looking elsewhere because we weren't being intimate anymore. He even suggested hiring a nanny so I could have more time for myself, but I wanted to be there for our baby full time, so I turned down the offer. That made him angry and he started acting cold towards me. Months went by without any hugs, kisses, romance, or any kind of affection. My self-esteem hit rock bottom. After 2 years, I craved his attention. I took matters into my own hands and hired some help. With more free time, I started going to the gym, taking swimming classes, getting my hair and lashes done regularly, and eating healthier. And guess what? I'd lost a ton of weight and I feel amazing. Suddenly, my husband started touching me, kissing me, buying me flowers, and treating me like the complete opposite of how he treated me before. You'd think that would make me feel better, but for some reason, it made me feel worse. Why couldn't he just hug me or give me a kiss on the cheek even when I was overweight? Why couldn't he love me as a human being and the mother of his child? When my self-esteem came back, I got really angry at myself for putting up with his behavior for so long. A few days ago, I told him I wanted a divorce because I don't think I can move past how badly he treated me. He apologized and promised to change and prove that he can be better. But honestly, I'm not sure if I can trust him again. I've talked to some friends and family, and some say I should give him another chance, while others say I should leave him. Is divorce the right move?
I made one stupid selfish comment to my wife a week or so ago, and now my life is in disarray. Her work is closed and she's being paid, but she's home with our kids now, and I take care of them on Mondays and Fridays to give her a break. On to the fight. She spent a long day with our kids and the neighboring kids, and when I came upstairs from work and she asked for a break, I didn't respond well. I made excuses and didn't offer help, and for the first time in years my wife lost her temper and cursed at me. Like an idiot, I dug in and thought I was right. I admit we both said some unkind things. But after Reddit humbled me and she made me sit down and write a list of things I did for the family that day and compared it with her longer list, I apologized. She accepted and I figured things would go back to normal. But they haven't. I used to be involved in parenting my kids. Since our fight, my wife hasn't asked me for any help. She took care of the kids on my day. I figured she was just being nice or trying to prove a point, but it keeps happening. She didn't even send them down to say good night last night. My son and I even do this little game where we race up the stairs, and last night I heard her racing up. The kids haven't even noticed. It's like she's replacing me. When we were fighting, my wife said something like, "You wouldn't see the kids half as much as you do if I didn't arrange it, and I'm done managing you." I defended myself. I'm not an absent parent, and said something like, "I'd like to see how long you can manage without me." It all backfired. She started running again. She's cooking really healthy and often. Every night I come home to my perfectly happy Stepford wife, doing it all without me, and I feel empty inside. How do I fix this? At this point I want to beg her to go back to how things were. This wasn't what we agreed on.